about age and marketing, and I'm going to share a story with you about something that happened on Friday for me, and it's completely changed my world. So I want to change your world too, and it is so relevant to the accounting profession. So let me know if you're live, #live. Let me know if you're watching the replay. I'm just going to bring up the comments so that I can see you. So #live, #replay. And what I would like you to do is tap into how this live makes you feel, because this one is neither my opinion or somebody else's opinion. It's about something that happened that we cannot overcome. So also, on this live, please can you share, if you are going to comment, please can you share your age, because I think that will affect also the conversation that we're going to have around this. And I really want to start talking about this a little bit more, because it did knock me for 6, but it also knocked Andrew for 6 too, my 22-year-old YouTuber that I reached out to inquire about what he was doing. So let me give you some context. There is an amazing guy called Andrew Kirby. He has a YouTube following of over 600,000, and he is in a mastermind that I am in, and he's a super savvy guy. So I reached out to him and said, hey, I'm interested in learning more from you, how you've grown your YouTube channel and how you do that. And I had to fill in an application to have a conversation with him. And we jumped on a call on Friday. Now, it did not go as he expected. It did go as I expected, but it did not go as he expected. And remember, he is 22 years old, British, so he's not American, he's a British guy. And we had a conversation, and I was like, tell me more about what it is that you do and how you help people. And I said to him, I said, let's work together. And I said, how would that work for you? Would that be something that you'd be interested in? And by the way, it's not cheap to work with this guy. These younger guys, they certainly understand the value that they bring. And he said to me, I was really shocked. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, well, I didn't think that actually I'd want to work with you because you're old. I was like, what? What? What do you mean I'm old? I'm only 47. What do you mean I'm old? And he said, you're old, and I didn't think I'd be able to help you. And please remember, he's 22, so he's the same age, or he's 2 years older than my son, so I'm old enough to be his mother. And these young lads that are having and women, and all sorts, are having very, very successful businesses, are a little bit ageist. And what I mean by that is that 22-year-olds look at us who are more established, a little bit older, I would say a lot wiser, and they think that we just don't get it. We don't get TikTok, we don't get Instagram, we don't get YouTube. They think that maybe, just maybe, we're past it when it comes to modern marketing. And he then looked at my marketing and was like, oh, you know exactly what you're doing. He was shocked. He was floored by the way that I do my marketing and the way that we implement the funnels and how I show up on video, yada, yada, yada. So they have preconceived ideas, okay? So 22-year-olds look at us over the age of 40 and think we're old. We're old enough to be their mother or their father. And what this means for the accounting profession is 2 things. One about business building, the other one, actually 3 things. One about business building, one about marketing, one about implementation, okay? So the first thing when it comes to marketing is that these 22-year-olds think that we don't get marketing, us older generation don't get marketing. And what has happened is the older generation, people like me, in our 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, have decided that actually it is difficult, but it's not difficult. It's just pressing a few buttons, but it looks easier for the younger generation because they've grown up with it. They have an extra thumb and they know how to do it. So what we have to do as older marketers is try and overcome the bias that we don't know what we're doing and treat it in exactly the same way as when you use a new piece of accounting technology. It's actually easier to upload something to Instagram than it is to use Xero or QuickBooks or Iris or any of those others, okay? So what we have to do first first of all, is make in our minds that we are okay with marketing. We can do marketing, and it's just another tool. They're just tools that we need to learn. So that's the first thing with marketing. Then we have to look at business growth, and we have all these 22-year-olds who are coming along, and they're amazing. Don't get me wrong. They find it really easy to do Instagram. They find it really easy to do TikToks. They find it easy to grow a YouTube channel because they've grown up with it. Okay, it's not something that they've never had to grow a business through word of mouth or referrals. They've literally done it through social media. So we have these 22-year-olds who look at you and I, who are in our 40s, 50s and 60s, and go, nah, they don't know what they're doing. They're just like, they're in the past. They're the dinosaurs of the world. And because they don't know about business and they don't know about marketing, all that kind of things, they will not look to us to be business advisors for them. So when you're an accountant and you're looking at being a business advisor, who are you marketing to? Who is your ideal client? Because if you're marketing to those in their 20s and their early 30s, do they trust us? Because the way that we're acting and the way that we talk about ourselves online is very different. Okay? It's very, very different with the way that we show up as well. Like, we do show up nervous. We're like, hey, how do we record a video? Whereas Andrew was like, I was recording videos when I was 16, 14, 12. I was creating a TikTok when I was 5. If you look at the TikTok guys and girls now, they're kids. You got 2-year-olds making TikToks. They're famous because of social media. So their bias towards us is that when it comes to business growth, do they trust us because we do things in a more traditional way? And when it comes to us doing marketing, they think that we can't do it. And when it comes to us with implementation, so as an accountant, they'll trust you. As a business advisor, they'll trust you with the compliance side. But actually, we need to prove to them that we are modern business builders, that we actually are ahead of the curve because we are old. With age comes wisdom. And actually, we know more about what we're talking about than the 18-year-old that's been creating TikToks and going viral since they were 15. It's ridiculous. So I think there's a big conversation because there's a big conversation to be had around this, because Andrew, lovely, lovely guy, he was just like, I thought you wouldn't know anything about what you were doing. I thought that you would be daft when it comes to modern marketing. He didn't use the word daft, but he was like, I didn't think I'd want to work with you. And I've actually signed up to start working with him, and I am double the age of every other person in a mentoring group. Okay, so just think about that. I'm over double the age of every other person in that mentoring group. And if that is the way that the world is going, if people are starting to be ageist, if they're looking at the older generation and saying, do you know what, they don't know what they're talking about when it comes to business growth, and they don't necessarily know how to run a business in the way that they want to run a business, so these young YouTubers, are they going to look to us for support and business advice? Probably not. So we've got a whole generation of 15 to 35-year-olds that maybe aren't going to be looking at you, Mr. or Mrs. Accountant, or me as a marketing person, who aren't looking at us and going, you're just not young, hip and trendy enough for us. But that leaves another huge opportunity, because there is a group of people from the age of 40 to 65, 70, 80 running their businesses that are going to be like, I trust you explicitly because with age comes wisdom. So when we are looking at who's a good client for us, when we're looking at what is it that we need to do to grow the advisory side of our businesses, what is it that we need to do to actually get those clients, we need to look at who is an ideal client for us. And there is already a bias towards us, an older generation, that we didn't know about. I didn't know about. I fell off my chair when he said, I didn't think you'd be a good fit, like you're old. And I'm like, he did use the word old as well. I'm like the age of his mother, if not maybe a bit older actually. So that's kind of something that we need to talk about, really, isn't it? It's like, if the younger generation are looking at us and we're old and they don't think that we're hip, cool and trendy enough to help them grow businesses, then who does that leave us with serving, and how do we serve the older generation? I still don't think 47 is old, but the younger generation do. How does that leave us, and what language do we need to use? And then the other question is, with marketing, how can we get as young, hip, cool and trendy as the younger guys? we kind of are going to be missing out on half of the market if we're not marketing in a way that attracts them. And the accounting firm and the business advisor that is going to thrive is the one that markets to the successful younger businesses. They're having £1 million businesses at the age of 20. Okay, those are the people that you want to market to, but you're marketing in an old way. They're not at BNI. They're not at For Networking. They're not out there pounding the streets. They're not relying on word of mouth. They are marketing in a certain way, and you need to understand the way they're marketing and do that marketing to reach them. So if your ideal client is under the age of 40 still, or if your ideal client is from 20 up to 60, then you need to learn how to do modern marketing, and you need to show up in front of those people in a way where it's outside your comfort zone. So really great conversation. This has been more of a chat. Let me know your thoughts. Ange just said, you got me hooked with your title. Yeah, 100% Ange. So are we ageist? Not us, because we're the older generation, but are the younger generation ageist towards us? They've already prejudged us, and everybody is judgy, whether we want to be or not. There are very few of us that have managed to get rid of judgments, but are they looking at us and going, do you know what? I don't want to give you loads of money. You don't know what you're talking about. You're older and you don't do things in a way that resonates with me, and what you're saying isn't resonating with me, so I'm not going to give you money. And in 10 years' time, that age group is going to be 30, 40 and 50, not 15 to 40. So in 10 years' time, if you are still acting in the way of an older person, a traditional, not older, traditional, then maybe, just maybe, in 10 years' time, the business really is going to struggle. Your accounting firm or your business advisory is going to struggle. Same with mine, which is why I'm learning how to do the modern TikToks. I've avoided TikToks. I'm not necessarily going onto TikTok to get my ideal client, but I have to learn how to use TikTok so I can teach my clients how to use TikTok. So I've got to be a test case. I've then got to teach you how to do it so that you can then market to the 15, 20, 25, 30-year-olds that are making money online using that marketing. And you have to come with me on that journey. You can't say, oh, I can't do TikTok, because your ideal client in 10 years' time, whether it's TikTok or another platform, will be on that platform. So yeah, age is just a number, but not to the 22-year-olds. We are seen as traditional business owners, and we don't have the know-how, apparently, to do what we need to do to get clients, the younger generation. Yeah, Donna says, bloody TikTok. Yeah, exactly. It's just like, it's just, I have no other word other than and TikTok. But I'm doing it, I'm learning, I'm investing in learning from, I'm investing in learning from a 22-year-old. Talk about ageist. I'm like, what? I'm giving a 22-year-old more money than I've given 50 and 60-year-old business advisors. Why am I doing that? And if we're 40, 50, 60, are people like me giving money to the younger accounting firms that are more agile? This is like a whole, I've gone off riffing here, and it's not normally how I do my lives, but I just think it's a conversation that we need to start having. And I want to help the over 40s market to the over 40s and market to the younger generation, which means that we need to be embracing the younger generation's way of communicating, because marketing is about building relationships and communicating. So we need to build relationships and communicate with people that in a way that they want to, not in the way that we're comfortable with. So Marilisa said, love it, was my feeling, and so I have also started researching TikTok and we'll be on it soon. Yeah, exactly. We're having to change the way that we do it. We don't have to change completely. So showing up and giving the value, the strategies are the same and the principles are the same. Give loads of value, help people as much as possible, make sure you're in front of them and talk to your ideal client. However, the medium of reaching them, we have to go to them, because they are not coming to BNI or networking events to meet us. Yes, Donna, I guess you're going to have to too. Tell me about it. So yeah, so that conversation with the younger generation, and I'm investing in him. He's 22 years old. I'm going to learn from him, and then I can teach you guys. Then I can share with you what works and what doesn't. But someone's got to invest and learn how to do it, and I'm going to drag you lot with me once I have got a methodology for you that I can teach you that makes you understand it easily. But we have to meet our clients where they're at, and people are ageist and they're judging us. And I have never thought anyone would judge me on my age, but this 22-year-old went, I didn't think I'd want to work with you, but actually I will. But remember, guys, as well, I'm light years ahead of many of you with marketing, which means that he was happy to work with me because I'm light years ahead of lots of you. I still don't know as much as he does about how to reach the younger generation. Anyway, it's interesting. I'd love to continue this conversation. Let me know your thoughts. You can reach out to me if you want to direct message me and continue this conversation, or if you want to comment on LinkedIn or YouTube, wherever you're watching this. There are agists out there, and it does affect us, and we have to change that, and we have to be agile in our approach to modern marketing. All right, I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks, guys. Donna Marilise, thank you for commenting. Ange, good to see you, and I'll catch up with you all soon. See you later. Bye.